HAMS students, I'm going to show you a new yoga pose called uttanasana. It means standing forward bend, and it's kind of similar to ragdoll, but instead of holding your elbows, you fold all the way over. Now, not everyone is able to fold all the way over and touch their toes, so using the principles of ahimsa, or non-harming, we're going to listen to our bodies and see what works for you. So we're going to start with putting some bend in our knees, hands on our hips, keeping a long spine, hinging forward, coming down, and then maybe just resting our hands on our thighs. So this is our first option for uttanasana. Tuck your chin and come all the way up. Our second option is we could use a block. Now I know you may not have a block at home, so you could use a stack of books, you could use a vase, you could use something else, because we're just going to put our hands on the block. That makes the floor a little bit closer, so we don't have to reach all the way down and touch the ground. So place your hands on your hips to start. You can put a little bend in your knees, or you can try to keep your legs straight, but we don't want to lock those knees out. Keep your spine tall, hinging from the hips. Let's fold forward and place your hands on your block or whatever it is that you're using to help you reach the ground. Once you're here, give your head a little shake, because we want to make sure we're looking at the legs. The head, top of the head is reaching down. Push into the floor. See if you can straighten your legs a little more. Lower your belly button towards your spine. Let your upper body relax. And then rise up. Come all the way to stand. So the third version would be that we come all the way down and touch the floor. You don't have to touch the floor. If the floor is not accessible to you because your hamstrings are feeling tight, then you can go with one of the previous versions, either keeping your knees bent and keeping the hands on the thighs, or using a block or other accessory to help you get a little bit closer to the ground. But we want your hands touching something, either your legs or your block or the ground. So this time we're going to try reaching a little bit further. Start with the hands on the hip. Feel your feet pressing into the ground. Your spine is long, hinging forward, keeping that spine long. Tuck your chin to your chest. Look at your legs. And then maybe you can bring your hands all the way down. Let your head be heavy. You're looking back at your knees or your shins. And then we're going to walk our hands up the legs, standing back in Tadasana. Now we're going to learn a secondary pose called Ardha Uttanasana. So it has kind of the same name. The first one is Uttanasana, and now Ardha Uttanasana. And this is half forward fold. So I want to show you some of the differences. We're just going to come halfway up in Ardha Uttanasana, but you're also going to lift your gaze and look forward. So let's start with your version of Uttanasana, either hands on the legs, hands on your block or other accessory, or hands on the floor. Start with the hands on the hips, reach down through your feet, up through your head, and start to tip forward into Uttanasana. Coming down as far as you feel comfortable, slide your hands down and tap the floor or your block or your legs. See if you can straighten your legs a little bit more, and right now you're looking at your shins or your knees. We're going to come halfway up for Ardha Uttanasana. I'm going to lift to my fingertips, lift my head, and look up. You could even have your hands on your shins, but we're looking forward. Let's come back down to Uttanasana. Lift halfway up for Ardha Uttanasana. Last time, folding down to Uttanasana, and this time take your arms up your body up, stretch to the ceiling, touch your hands, and then exhale back down to Tadasana.